me again, the Rock Doctor, coming at you live with another installment of Must Know Rock Guitar Moves. Okay, this one is volume number 53. Now listen, if you've been following along, this one's really a continuation of Must Know Rock Guitar Moves number 52 and the previous one. And what I've got going here is 4 basic pentatonic licks that follow a particular chord progression, which we'll talk about in a minute. And the key here, I guess, what I'm trying to stress is how you can get some mileage out of just a couple of licks. A, how to use more than one pentatonic shape, so you can use more of the fingerboard, like some of these iconic, cool guitarists. There's so many of them. I won't name any, but there's tons of them. So you can use more of the fingerboard. And the other thing is how to resolve the lick, how to steer the lick to fit the chords in the progression. So, without further ado, it's dry erase board time once again. So check it out. All right, here's what I got. We're in the key of C sharp minor today, and I'm using my backing track in C sharp minor. So let's look at this real quick. I've got 4 chords in a pattern. Take a look. I've got a measure of C sharp minor to a measure of E. I have a lick for that, and the last note ends up being a chord tone of E. Following that, I have a measure of B to a measure of F sharp, and every time I end a lick on that pattern, I resolve to a chord tone of F sharp. So I guess basically I've got 2 licks for each. We'll talk about it in a minute. Now, as far as the chords, let me play the stripped down version of the chords, which is how I think of it really. I think in simple terms, the chord progression itself is kind of cool and slightly involved, but if you strip it down to the basic stuff, that's where I got this crap from. All right, hold on, let me slide this out of the way. All right, let me back this thing up. Okay, I'm just going to play a stripped down version of the chords. C sharp minor to E, I'm just using power chords though, and then B to F sharp. Okay, got my crunch going, turning it back on. Here I go. C sharp, E, B, F sharp. I'll do it again. C sharp, E, B, F sharp. There you go. Now, let's pull the dry erase board back again. All right. The first lick I used again is the same as the previous Must Know Rock Guitar Moves, but we're in the key of C sharp minor. So look at the first one here. Oh wait, let's look at how I reference myself first to be able to place my licks. You've got to know, in my mind anyway, you've got to know where the home pentatonic scale goes. I call it pentatonic shape number 1. In C sharp minor, that's the 9th position. Okay, so that's my point of reference, and that's one of the ways I know how to line up my licks. Now, the first lick starts in the 4th position, and I call that pentatonic shape number 3. Another point of reference is where are the C sharp notes? Look, the red guys. See it? On the A string, 4th fret, there's my C sharp. So that's another way that I can line my licks up. You can get a lot of mileage out of a few licks if you know where to put them to fit what key you're in. There you go. So, here's the first lick. The first lick, again, is a 2-bar phrase. Most of them are. And I'm outlining C sharp minor to E. And this is basically what I like to call in my world essential lick number 1. Here's all it is. I'm going to start at on the high E 7th fret. I'm going to bend that note up a whole step to C sharp. That covers the C sharp minor chord. Then I let it down to a B, and guess what? I time that so that when the E chord hits, I'm hitting the B note, and guess what? Take a look. Whoa, hold up! There's a B note and an E chord. That's why it sounds good, okay? So, let me play the lick again and I'll count it. I think I did something like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, 4. So there's that one. Okay, the second lick stays in that same position, but works its way up to pentatonic scale shape number 2, which is in the 7th position. So, and that's going to cover B and resolve to the F sharp, a chord tone of F sharp. So here's that lick. Here it comes. So what I did there was, that last note is the most important one. I finished up on the B string, 9th fret, and that is a G sharp note. And I bent it up to an A sharp note, which is a chord tone of F sharp. See it? All right. Now here's that lick again. This is mostly 8th notes, and again, it's 2 measures long. So here, look. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. I won't outline the fingerings and talk you through them this time. Just use the tab. It's a lot. It makes for a shorter video, and you don't have to listen to me going, do this, do that, put your finger here, put your toe there. So we'll skip that. So the second lick resolves, goes from B and resolves to F sharp, a chord tone of F sharp. Okay, third lick. The pattern is cycling back around now. The third lick is going to outline C sharp minor to E. And this time I decided to stay with pentatonic shape number 2 in the 7th position. So here's that guy. Hope I remember what I did, huh? And that last note is important. It's an E note. Yeah, it's an E note, and the chord at the end there was E. So I landed on an E note to outline that E chord. Here it is again. Still 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 16th notes here. 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time like that. So there's that one. Okay, clicking off my Darth Vader tone. The last lick, I progressed up again into the home position of C sharp minor, pentatonic, in the 9th fret area, and I played this, and here it is. And that last note there, the 12th fret, B string, bent up a whole step with some vibrato, is a C sharp note, which is a chord tone of F sharp. There it is, so you can see the chord tones of F sharp or F sharp, A sharp, or C sharp. Okay, so that's basically it. Let me ask you guys this. Some of you might know a little bit of theory, and so briefly discussing this. All these chords, the C sharp minor, the E, and the B, are definitely chords built directly from the C sharp minor scale, okay? But the F sharp major is not. So who knows what that F sharp chord should be in theory, and why is it the way it is now? It's incorrect theoretically, but it sounds good. So if anybody knows why, chime in and tell me. I know the reason why, but I ain't telling you because I don't want to confuse anybody. But if you know, chime in and explain it. With chord progressions, a lot of times the chords are directly built from the scale or the key that that we're in. But once in a while, we break the rules and put a chord in there that might have the same root note as the scale it comes from, but not be the correct, actual theoretical correct chord. And that's okay. It happens all the time. So it's a lot like the 10 Commandments. People break those 10 Commandments all the time. And in music, they get broken all the time, but you won't go to hell for doing it. So, yes! All right. I guess, you know what? That's probably good enough. Follow along with the tab that I've got in the beginning. And again, what we're trying to do is learn all the pentatonic shapes. Be able to utilize them in a solo so you're not stuck in just in one little spot. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. We're learning that a lot of phrases are 2 measures long. We're learning that a lot of chord progressions go in little bunches of 2-bar phrases. It happens all the time. And what else? And we want to resolve that last note to fit the chord at the end of that 2-bar pattern of chords. That's it. When you can get that shit on autopilot, you're on your way to being able to fly the fighter jet. We're still just flying the Piper Cub right now, and we're not trying to shred. You got to know what you're doing before you can play any scary shit. So you better be able to play in a basic way, meat and potatoes, yeah. That's what my channel's about. And, okay, that's enough. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, order me a pizza, find me a bass player. Yeah, I need a bass player that can do some gigs with me. I'm ready to go. And it's nice to have a bass player that knows how to play the songs all the way through, especially when you get to the solo section and they know what the chords are, because I'm playing it to the chords, you know. And there's my pet peeve about bass players. If you don't know how to change the chords during the solo and I'm playing to the chords, you're making me sound like crap. So don't do that to me. All right, I'm out of here. Bye.